Last month, we did a special week called 7 Nights of Forbidden Rituals, and I can see you guys loved it. I'm thinking to start a special week of a certain theme every month, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if there's any certain topic you want me to cover. Or the next 7 days, we're exploring one of the darkest corners of human psychology. Welcome to the Belief Trap, our special series this month. Each night we'll uncover the story of a different cult from somewhere in the world, and the people who were pulled inside. Not to sensationalize them, but to understand how ordinary people became trapped inside extraordinary systems of manipulation. And there are few places better to begin than a movement that claimed to preach love, while leaving behind thousands of victims. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of the most controversial religious movements of the 20th century. A cult that attracted tens of thousands of followers across the globe, recruited thousands of children, and convinced its members that abuse was an expression of God's love. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. The story begins in 1968 in Huntington Beach, California. A Christian missionary named David Berg started preaching to young people during the height of the hippie movement. At first, nothing seemed particularly unusual. He welcomed people who felt rejected by mainstream society. He spoke about faith, community, love. Many believed they had found a place where they finally belonged. But as the movement grew, so did David's authority. Soon, his followers no longer knew him simply as David Berg. He became Moses David, or simply Mo. And questioning him slowly became the same as questioning God. David warned that the end of the world was approaching. He claimed the Antichrist would soon rule the earth, and that governments, churches, and society itself had already fallen under the control of evil. The outside world became known simply as the system. Members were taught not to trust it, not to rely on it, and eventually not to obey it. Instead, David's writings became the movement's highest authority. The group expanded at an astonishing pace. Within only a few years, it had spread across dozens of countries. By some estimates, the movement grew to more than 25,000 members, including approximately 15,000 children. Communities appeared throughout North America, Europe, Asia, and beyond, reaching countries such as Japan, Thailand, the Philippines, and Indonesia. Families often lived together in isolated communes where nearly every aspect of daily life was shaped by David's teachings. Then, those teachings changed. David began claiming that God's greatest gift was love. But he redefined love in ways that shocked even many of his own followers. He taught that physical intimacy was a spiritual act, and encouraged members to view it as an expression of divine devotion. Traditional boundaries no longer mattered. Marriage became less important. Personal consent became blurred beneath religious obedience. The closer someone followed David's interpretation, the more faithful they were believed to be. Over time, those beliefs became even more extreme. David condoned sexual relations between anyone of any age, including the 15,000 children in the group. David himself admitted he regretted never having relations with his own mother. David argued that children should not be shielded from adult sexuality and promoted ideas that would later be widely condemned as abusive and exploitative. Survivors have since described years of manipulation, fear, and lasting trauma. For many children raised inside the movement, there was no opportunity to choose a different life. In 1976, David introduced one of the group's most controversial practices. It became known as flirty fishing. Women were encouraged to use romantic and sexual relationships as a way to recruit new followers and secure financial support for the organization. The group also began producing pornographic comics featuring religious figures like the Archangel Gabriel, the Virgin Mary, and Jesus engaging in sexual acts. To David, this wasn't exploitation. He portrayed it as missionary work. Many former members would later say it became another tool of coercion disguised as faith. David also claimed he could predict the future. He announced that Jesus would return in 1993, bringing the apocalypse. His followers waited, prepared, believed. But when the year came and passed, nothing happened. As failed prophecies piled up, criticism from former members grew louder. Around the same time, abuse allegations attracted increasing attention from authorities and the media. Survivors began speaking publicly after years of silence. Around this time, David became a fugitive from US police after numerous reports from former members and victims. Former members formed an organization called Free COG to expose the group's practices. Christina Babin, who was beaten for wetting the bed as a child, witnessed children being thrown out windows and babies being hit. Verity Carter described life in the Children of God as hell on earth, recounting abuse by many people, including her own father, starting when she was just 4 years old. Her father, Alexander Watt, was later convicted in 2018 on 4 counts of sexual abuse. These testimonies eventually led to criminal investigations in several countries, with some former members later convicted of serious offences. For many survivors, escaping the cult was only the beginning of rebuilding their lives. David Berg died in 1994, but the organisation did not disappear. Leadership passed to his wife, Karen Zerby, and over the years the group adopted new names, including the Family and eventually the Family International. Today, the organisation still exists, although it says it has abandoned many of its earlier teachings. Even so, its history continues to cast a long shadow. Perhaps what makes this story so unsettling isn't simply what happened inside one cult. It's how easily compassion became obedience, how trust became control, and how a leader convinced thousands of people that questioning him meant questioning God. History has shown us that dangerous cults rarely begin with violence. They begin with certainty. One charismatic voice. One promise that only they know the truth. And one small step that slowly becomes impossible to walk back. This is only the beginning of Cult Week. Don't forget to subscribe, because over the next 7 days, we'll travel across the world to uncover more stories of belief, manipulation, and the devastating consequences that followed. Thank you for joining me tonight. Until tomorrow, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.